envelope followers, sometimes called slew limiters. But the reality is that whatever we call them, they are basically low-pass filters, where the cutoff frequency is dependent on the output and the input signal. If the output is higher than the input, then the cutoff is one value. If it's lower, then another value. Anyways, we have a simple patch here. And let's take a look at the yellow line. That's the gate. And the gate controls the amplitude of the signal. If we insert an envelope follower here, we can set an attack value and the release value. And the idea is to create something like an LFO out of these envelope followers. So we create a loop that's as long as the attack and release together. And for this to work, we need a gate that's as long as the attack. And that's pretty simple to do. We will use a trigger. We will convert the trigger to gate, plug it into the input, and use the attack length and use that for modulation. And now we have a fixed length plug, but the attack is always right. Okay, we will need the same for the release, like this. But here we will need a different trigger, and we need to trigger this whenever the gate here goes down. And so we will need to check for that. In this designer, we have an input as the gate, and we will invert this, insert a change node here, and we will multiply these two. And this is the way you check a gate if it's up or if it's down. If it's up, then we don't need this 1 minus x. Then we just need the change multiplied by the gate. So gate comes here. I call this down. Trigger goes there. And now we will have a trigger whenever the release is active. We will have a gate whenever the release is active, and that's okay. Now we need to trigger this when this gate is down. And with this we have a loop, as you can see. And now we can't trigger it anymore, so the trigger doesn't work. And for this we need to add the trigger as an input. But this way the loop won't stop ever. Which is fine, but not what we want exactly. So we will use the gate and insert the gate into this loop, like this. And now we will only have the envelope follower looping until we hit the gate. And as you can hear, this can create really nice effects, like these bouncing effects. And you can use this to control anything, like filter, cutoffs, or anything. But let me put this into a designer and show another usage or another way to control this patch. So here we have the designer. Let me tweak this to 0, and here into the multiplier we need the gate input, into the addition we need the trigger input, and we need a control for attack and release, like this. And for the output we need nothing, just the output. That's okay. And now we can delete this whole patch here. And plug in the gate and the trigger, plug this into the envelope, and I'm going to call this loop for the time being, and create two knobs for controlling the attack and release, like from 0 to 2000 milliseconds. Could be even more, but oh, forgot to crank up the modulations. And set the slope to 2. This is nice, okay. The other way to work with this is not that we won't have a concrete attack and release time, but we will give this a frequency, like an LFO. So instead of attack, we will use a frequency, and we will choose between attack or release, which phase is takes. So we will decide how much percentage each phase takes from this period. Anyways, if this made no sense, sorry, my English is still not the best on the earth, but I hope you will get this. So we have frequency, which we will convert to milliseconds from hertz. And we will multiply it by this value. And we will also subtract this from 1. And multiply by that value. And this will control the other part. Like this, it's okay. And these will need different controls, of course. The gate and the trigger is the same. And we will have a control for frequency. And one control for this attack or release, which is between 0 and 1. Frequency can be, let's say, between 0 and 20. Okay, and now let's set this to, let's say, this 3.2 hertz. And now we can set how much attack we want or how much release with constant frequency. And of course, we can make this polyphonic and let's say add some random value to this. Each time we hit a key, and then it's a bit more interesting maybe. Let's say like and also to the frequency. Let's multiply that with 40, let's say. Okay, this is a very simple synth, of course. Don't expect much from it to sound anything special. So this is just a sine wave. But I hope this made the controls somewhat clearer. So we can loop an envelope follower in two ways, with fixed frequency, and then choose between how much attack or release we want, or we can loop it with based on the attack and release times. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.